Hello everyone, it's your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how Batman 89 has a lot of disconnected sequels. This is an unscripted video, and I have recorded this video so many times, but every time I think I'm done, I find another thing that just blows my mind. So, to fill you in, Batman was a film directed by Tim Burton that was released in the year 1989. It is soon going to be receiving a direct sequel in the form of a novel called Batman Resurrection, which is supposed to take place before the events of the 1992 Tim Burton directed film Batman Returns, which already has a couple of direct sequels in the form of comic book series. We have the Batman 89 comic book series and the Batman 89 Echoes comic book series, respectively. These take place on Earth 789, which is the same universe as the Superman 78 series, which takes place in the same continuity as the 70s Christopher Reeve Superman films and the same continuity as the Goonies movie. But we're not going to be talking too much about the 70s Superman films or the Goonies or how they connect to this big mess. But if you like to see me try and break down the confusing continuity of the Christopher Reeve Superman films, trust me, it's weirder than you think, then make sure to hit me up in the comment section below. And you guys better push me to do it, or I'm not going to do it. Anyways, next up, let's talk about Earth 97. The Joel Schumacher Batman films, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, respectively, came out in the later half of the 90s and were meant to be a sequel to Batman Returns. But as of recent, it has been commonly referred to as Earth 97. Now, I've heard somebody say that in Crisis on Infinite Earths, specifically the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths, that they show like the Joel Schumacher Earth, or they reference the Joel Schumacher Earth, and they give it the designation Earth 97. I have yet to find like direct evidence, like true proof that it is called Earth 97 and that that's its designation. What's interesting about this, though, is that I did find a tweet that was by the writer of Batman 89, specifically the Batman 89 comic series. And in that tweet, he's responding to another tweet where someone is echoing this whole hey, in the Crisis on Infinite Earths event, it was revealed that the Joel Schumacher universe is canon on Earth 97. So essentially, the person on Twitter was trying to say, hey, like the Joel Schumacher stuff should exist. Is it going to be in your comic? And the writer of the Batman 89 comic was like, Earth 97's too crowded. Nobody goes there anymore. Which is a funny little line that seems to indicate, at least from the perspective of the writer of Batman 89, regardless of if Earth 97 actually appeared in the Crisis on Infinite Earths CW event or not, the writer of Batman 89 believes that Earth 97 is the Joel Schumacher Earth and that it also is distinct from the Batman 89 comics reality. So there you have it. The Joel Schumacher movies, they're kind of their own thing. They may treat Batman Returns and Batman 89 as being in the same universe as them, but it does not work the other way around. Speaking of weird continuity, mashup, weird thingies like that, let's talk about Earth 89, Gotham City. This is another thing from the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths event. This Earth was specifically meant to be the same universe as the Michael Keaton Batman 89 films, and during the Crisis event, of course, this universe is erased and then subsequently recreated. Now, this is clearly a different Earth designation than the Joel Schumacher films, but is also clearly a different Earth designation from the Batman 89 comics. So I think it's safe to say that this is its own Earth entirely, and that maybe on this reality, Batman 89 happened, and Batman Returns happened, and presumably Batman Resurrection happened, I guess. But you could argue that this is an Earth that doesn't have The Goonies or any of the Superman 70s films, especially since Crisis on Infinite Earths has universe designations for the Christopher Reeve Superman universe as well as Superman Returns, which arguably should be the same universe, but again, this isn't that video. Ask me for that video. So yeah, Earth 89 is another disconnected sequel that we can say is over here and it doesn't connect to the other things. Next up, we have the Birds of Prey television series from the early 2000s. You may be wondering why this is on the list in the first place. Apparently, there was a trailer for the Birds of Prey show. I've actually seen this trailer that includes footage from Batman Returns, and it heavily implies that the Birds of Prey show is meant to be a direct sequel to Batman Returns and Batman 89. But in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I've seen this footage for myself, the Birds of Prey Earth is identified as Earth 203, which is not Earth 89, and it's not Earth 97, and it's not Earth 789. So it's in its own universe entirely as well, while also somehow being a sequel to Batman Returns. Next up, we have the Flash film from the DCEU. During that movie, we have the Flash traveling to a reality with an old Michael Keaton Batman. Presumably, he's supposed to be traveling to like Earth 89 or Earth 789, but I'll tell you this, he definitely didn't go to Earth 789. And I can prove that he didn't go to Earth 789. So keep in mind that on this Michael Keaton Batman Earth, that the events of Man of Steel are happening in that reality, which implies just a totally different Superman from the Superman that we see in the Christopher Reeves Superman films, which, as mentioned before, exist in the Earth 789 continuity. So, because there's a different Superman, he didn't go back to that one. He maybe went to Earth 89, which is the one that we argued before, is one where the Christopher Reeve Superman stuff didn't happen. So that's fair. We can argue that the Flash went to Earth 89. But then after that, he ends up in a reality that has like a George Clooney Batman, which would be indicative of Earth 97, the Joel Schumacher Batman universe, which I think is fair to say. Some people might think that's weird because Jason Momoa Aquaman exists in that reality, but I don't really think that's that weird. Even within the DCEU, Batman existed for a while before the events of Justice League happened and Aquaman showed up and all that nonsense. So you could just say the same thing happens on Earth 97. Just later in the future of Earth 97, similar events to the Justice League take place and Aquaman comes about. It's whatever. It's not that deep. Get off me. Don't at me. Next up, we have the Batgirl film. Fully produced but unreleased, this piece of lost media was supposed to feature an elderly Michael Keaton Batman, presumably the same one from Batman 89, acting as a mentor figure for Batgirl. We don't know much about this world as none of us have seen the film, but I think it's safe to say that it exists in the multiverse somewhere as another one of these random Earths. And you may be like, well, why? Like, why would it exist in the multiverse of this like weird piece of lost media? Because Superman Lives, the Superman film starring Nicolas Cage that was never released, and I don't even think that movie was fully produced. It actually appears in the Flash film. The Flash gets to peer into his universe, and we get to see a scene from that unreleased, unproduced movie come to life. You can actually find the script for that film online. So that goes to show that DC considers even their unreleased projects as being a part of their greater multiverse, meaning we could see the Batgirl universe with older Michael Keaton show up in a future project. Do we want to see that? Who knows? But hey, that's another one of these disconnected sequels. This next one caught me by surprise. I was really thrown. The 2004 Catwoman movie. Now, you might be like, how on earth does the 2004 Catwoman movie fit into any of this? Well, eagle-eyed viewers of the Catwoman film maybe would have noticed that the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman appears in the film. Holly Berry, playing Catwoman, is looking over all of these different photographs of previous Catwomen, and one of them is straight up Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman from Batman Returns. So within that continuity, the Catwoman is like a title that's passed down, and different people become the Catwoman across different generations. So Catwoman 2004 is a sequel to Batman Returns. Like, it just definitively counts, just like all these other ones, as being a part of that continuity, which blows my mind. Um, is it in some other universe with some weird universe designation? I honestly don't know. I have no idea. Like, this is a weird one. Because with Birds of Prey, you could be like, oh, well, what keeps it from being the same continuity or whatever? I do think events in that show probably would contradict things that we see in Batman 89 and stuff like that. But Catwoman maybe doesn't contradict anything. It's so many years removed that it just could be the same continuity. You know, you're jumping from like the late 80s, early 90s, all the way to 2004. Catwoman could definitively be just a direct sequel to Batman Returns. That's not like some tie in book or something, just like a film. So that's wild. Take with that what you will. Next up, we have the two weirdest entries on this whole list. So, OnStar is a service for like roadside assistance. They're meant to like help you with car stuff. They had a series of commercials that featured actors, sets, Batmobile, costumes, that seemed to be a hodgepodge of things from Earth 97 and Batman 89. So I'm going to say it's not really a sequel to either of them, but a weird fused reality where elements of both exist, but it also kind of has unique elements in and of itself. I know it's weird to include it on the list, but I just felt like the list wouldn't be complete without it. And next up, you have the Lego Batman movie. There's a sequence in the Lego Batman movie in which Alfred is talking about the many different phases of Batman, and he refers to like every live action Batman just about, including the Joel Schumacher continuity and Batman 89 and Batman Returns and even like DCEU stuff. They try to imply that the Lego Batman is kind of an amalgamation of all these different Batmen, or more accurately, that all of those Batman were Lego Batman at one point in time, and that Lego Batman is just like the latest iteration of Batman since then, with even years going with each one, to say that like if you were to go into the Lego Batman universe of this year, it would be like Batman Forever. Da-da-da-da. Anyways, that's another weird one that you could argue is a sequel to the Batman 89 continuity because it itself kind of says that it is. And I know it's like a joke or whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's what the movie says. Anyways, this is maybe like the 10th time I've tried to record this video. That might be hyperbolic. It maybe hasn't been 10 times, but it definitely feels like it. So I'm glad to finally have it over with. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know if you want that Superman continuity video. Anyways, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Peace, guys. Check it about.